It smells wonderful. You've got saffron, cumin, turmeric, rosemary, and our mysterious secret to some of you ingredient, pomegranate molasses. But more of that later. Persian roast lamb. One of the most visited posts on Lynn's Food, especially at this time of the year. I first came up with this some years ago to celebrate Nowruz with some of my friends, clients. Nowruz is the Persian spiritual New Year that falls on the first day of spring. It is celebrated not just by Iranians, but also some Central Asian countries, as well as the Parsi community in India. Now, you can read more about Nowruz, the Persian New Year, on linsfood.com, where I talk about Nowruz, its practices, and of course, a whole lot of recipes to celebrate the day. But let's get to our lamb at hand. When I cook it for Nowruz for my clients, I serve it on a bed of lightly scented rice. The rice is flavored with saffron and rose water. Sometimes I even serve it with marasa polo, which is Persian jeweled rice. Now you'll find all these recipes on the Nowruz page. If you fancy a quick cheats Persian saffron rice, again, you'll find the recipe on the Nowruz page itself. If you fancy a video of it, send me a message, leave me a comment to let me know what you'd like to see. Shall we go take a look at the ingredients? The ingredients for our Persian roast lamb are pretty straightforward. As mentioned, we've got one ingredient that may be exotic to some or to many of you. First of all, let's take a look at what we need for the meat itself. So we've got a leg of lamb, a whole leg of lamb. You can also use shoulder. Can you use smaller pieces of lamb, like lamb chops? A rack of lamb can also be cooked with this recipe. Whatever you fancy. I've got a great crown roast recipe, link there, if you want to know how to cook an actual crown roast. But let's get back to the recipe here itself. Besides the leg of lamb, we've got a whole large onion that we're going to slice into rings, line our roasting pan with it, and that leg of lamb is going to be sitting on it. And then we also need a little bit of stock. Chicken stock, vegetable stock, or lamb stock. Whether you make it yourself, you buy ready prepared stock, or you're using a stock cube or stock pot. It doesn't matter. But if you're buying it, make sure that it has as few ingredients as possible. And really, in this day and age, artificial additives are so easy to stay away from. So get the best quality stock you can buy. So besides that, we've got our marinade. So let's look at our marinade ingredients. Now, what makes this roast lamb special are pomegranate molasses. What is pomegranate molasses? Well, for starters, it's not molasses. It is in fact pomegranate juice that's been cooked and reduced to a thick syrup-like consistency. It's like a cross between honey and balsamic vinegar. It's rich, it's sweet, it's a little tart. It imparts caramel flavors. It's great in savory dishes, and you can also have it as dessert. I use it in my salads. You can use pomegranate molasses in so many ways. Add depth to dishes, to savory dishes. Use it as a topping over ice cream, over desserts. Use it as a cocktail ingredient, mocktail ingredient. So many ways to use it besides this recipe. Just click on that link to find out more about it. Now the good news is, if you cannot get your hands on shop-bought pomegranate molasses, you can make it yourself. You just need pomegranate juice, preferably with no sugar added and as little extra things added as possible. All you do is cook it down. Again, the instructions for that is just there. So you can still cook this recipe, our Persian roast lamb, if you cannot get your hands on pomegranate molasses, because you can make it yourself. Besides our pomegranate molasses, we want some extra virgin olive oil, and we want some honey. Don't worry, your lamb isn't going to be sweet. And then we've got a good old amount of freshly squeezed lemon juice, half a dozen or so cloves of garlic, and saffron. The saffron we're going to turn into liquid saffron. I have a video for it on this channel right there, but I will also be showing you how to make it in this video itself. It's just a case of crushing the saffron with some salt and pouring hot water over it. Ta-da! You've got liquid saffron. And then besides that, we've got some cumin, turmeric, and black pepper. And then we've got a generous amount of rosemary. Hey, lamb loves rosemary, so we've got it here. So that's our ingredients. We're going to mix our marinade up, make slashes in our meat, smother it with the marinade, and depending on how much time you've got, we're going to leave it to marinate 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours overnight. Even if you haven't got time to let it sit in its marinade, your meat will still be delicious. So, shall we get our aprons on?